Milwaukee has surprised us again with a more powerful impact wrench, and this has been one of numerous advances that they've introduced. This is their high torque 276320. I sent it out to Rezac Land and Cattle Company, and Todd, you've evaluated Milwaukee tools for us before. You've had torque wrenches before. I think you had one made by another manufacturer, and then we sent you this. So what was your impression of the machine overall?
Very strong. I mean, it'll do practically anything you ask it to do. We took tires off the sprayer, take tires off the big trucks, stuff that you could have messed with for an hour in the old days, you can take it off.
The one thing you'd mentioned about this, you were doing some construction where you were running lag bolts, and the problem is you were snapping off the lag bolts.
Too much, yeah.
Or even weaker bolts, you don't want to use it for that necessarily, or you have to watch what you're doing, right?
You have to have more skill if you want to save everything, right? Because it'll break anything smaller. It'll 3/8 bolts or 1/2 inch bolts, it'll break them.
So they do make a battery now that has more amp hours, but the capacity of this thing is, it gives you quite a bit of work time.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, hit and miss, it'll run long time on just that battery there.
Okay, and recharge time, I think these are 30 minutes, isn't it? So if you ran 2 batteries, you'd never be starved for power.
You'd never be short.
What I was impressed with is how you can feather the trigger and do a pretty light load on the whole thing.
Right, and then it does have that high-low speed.
Yeah.
Also.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's the switch down here, isn't it?
Yes, it gives you way less on low.
So way less power or speed?
Both.
Oh,
Both.
okay. So if you're running a lighter load thing, then you may be on number 1 as opposed to number 2, which is if you're really wailing on something, that would be
right.
that. So this thing retails, depending on if you get the tool alone, if you already have the battery and charger, or if you get the full kit. The tool alone is somewhere around $350. I think the kit gets it up to $450, maybe $500. Well, for more information about this and other Milwaukee tools, you can go to the website at milwaukeetool.com. I'll see you on another product test team report. One of the tools that I wanted the farmer to test out was something that I was very familiar with, and that was a heat gun. I've used it before when I was working on my house. I used a heat gun, not unlike this, to take paint off of woodwork. And I always thought to myself, they're pretty handy things. Well, Wagner came out with their new line of Furno heat guns. And I can tell you right now, this is about 1/3 of the way to the one that I used, which was a heavy-duty heat gun. I sent it off to Gerald Joseph in Hampton, Nebraska for him to test. Now, Gerald, to be fair, you had already used a heat gun before.
Yes, I have. I had a couple of them in my lifetime, and they always seem to disappear to my son's house. So, but yeah, I had a couple different brands, and I used them, you know, kind of regular. You don't use them every day, but when you need them, they are handy.
Well, so my question to you is, would a heat gun have a place in the farm shop?
Well, I think definitely they would. One thing that they work well for is taking stickers off. If you get you get parts now, and the first thing they do is plaster a sticker right where you got to slide it on a shaft. Well, instead it works well to get those off, and it loosens the glue, and then you can take them off. So
that seems like an underwhelming job for, because this one goes up to 1,300 degrees will come out of this thing.
It does get hot.
It does get hot.
Yes.
So what other jobs could you use it on a farm shop? Maybe loosening. Does it get hot enough to loosen bolts?
Yeah, according to the directions, they give you settings on how to set them to loosen rusted bolts, which I hadn't tried yet, but I used it to bend PVC conduit.
Oh, okay.
The gray conduit to bend them into a 45 or whatever angle you need. It heats it up fine, and you can just bend them to any angle you want, and it's quite handy for that.
By the way, the one thing that you pointed out when you were doing the conduit that you wanted to talk about that you liked so much was when you did that, you used the case.
The case has a built-in feature that holds the gun sturdy, and then in the back you can run your controls and see your digital, and then you can work safely without somebody hanging on to it.
That's pretty cool. That's the neat thing.
It's a pretty neat feature.
Yeah, I was going to say, then it leaves you two hands. So
right.
when you used it for the conduit, you just put the conduit over here, and then you could
Right,
bend
I
it.
just turned it and got it so it was mushy, and then bent it the way I wanted it, and
So if you had skiers with sirloin on it,
that would work quite well too.
that's not a bad idea. So this whole set with all the deflectors and the tools sells for $69.99. Let's say $70. Is that worth the price to have a heat gun like this around?
I would say it would be. I mean, it has a lot of nice features. It comes with everything you need.
And it's lightweight enough.
It is lightweight.
Well, for more information about the Furno 750 and the other heat guns in the Furno line, you can go to wagnerspraytech.com. Now, you can catch our other product test team reports, both in future episodes of the television show, as well as Successful Farming Magazine and agriculture.com. Hi, I'm Dave Mowitz. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit subscribe right here if you haven't already, and click that little bell right here to be notified when we post a new video. And click here to see more great videos.